Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And it's 7 p.m. in the Big Apple. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog Scipio. This is America's Podcast. What's the buzz? Tonight, inside the world of Tom Jones with one of the country's, in fact, one of the world's greatest Tom Jones impersonator, Steve McCoy. He'll be here shortly. But in the meantime, I'm stuck with these two gavones. I've got... Because she's back, folks. Every time I see her, I want to just shake my head. Amelia the Pitbull Chapman, the mouth of the South. How are you, Amelia?
Good. How are you?
Cat got your tongue?
I'm losing my voice still, but you're lucky.
Oh, all right. We should tell everybody, Amelia works at a busy doctor's office, and she does scheduling, so she was on the phone all day, like, talking to people and telling them stuff they really didn't want to hear. Just things. Hey, lady,
they owe me money,
right? And we got Cal, big calumniator. Cal is a conspiracy kook at large. Cal is one of our guys. He's also an aspiring actor. At least that's what his manager tells me. How are you, Cal?
I'm all right. Just got back home a couple moments ago.
I got to show everybody what I have here. You're gonna love this one. I have my phone book in my phone here, and this is the kind of stuff that humors me. I do this for my own amusement, so I want to show you. You're gonna take a look at my phone real quick. This is Cal.
Oh.
This is what he does. You weren't ready for that one, were you?
No, not at all.
Those of you on radio that are listening in your car or at work or on the beach or wherever the hell you are, I'm holding up a picture of Cal looking very much like Captain Jack Sparrow. If you have seen Cal, he resembles. Striking resemblance, believe it or not, to Johnny Depp. And we have, Amelia and I have a friend named Danny Lopez.
Yes.
And Danny is a professional, like, dead ringer for Johnny and does a spot on Jack Sparrow. But I got to say that our guy, I'm prejudiced to our guy. Our guy, Big Cal, is going to give him a run for his money.
Yep.
Because we're going to have, sounds so dirty. We're going to have a Captain Jack off on this.
Yes.
So funny that TMZ mistaken Danny Lopez for.
I saw that.
Remember that?
On TikTok. I saw two Captain Jack Sparrows trying to one-up each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the title under it, that the caption was Captain's Jack Off. I fucking lost it. Oh man, I lost it.
I personally don't see any resemblance.
But no, of course you do look like him. Are you shitting me? Especially because Johnny, his weight fluctuates from when he grows up. You watch his face. When he grows his mustache and goatee, his face looks like Amelia when I had my beard.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Your face looks thinner with the
It
beard. You shave your beard off, and then you got old chubby cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It
like
does.
proof. Mm-hmm.
It's true.
You know, proof right here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out where our friend Steve is, and I'm looking for. Is this? Hold on. I think somebody's trying to get in here. Might be Steve McCoy. Where are you, Steven?
He's also in a different time zone, so he's
Oh
hopefully.
no, he's from New Jersey. I grew up with him. I've known him for over 50 years.
Where's he at?
Las
Was
Vegas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? Why don't you guys, Amelia? I'm going to try to get a hold of him. Why don't you guys talk for a little bit, all right?
Okay.
Amelia, you're in charge right now.
Okay.
What's going on, Amelia?
Hey, so anyway, what he was talking about was a TMZ mistaken that guy for Johnny Depp and was following him around all over the place, thinking he was Johnny Depp, Danny Lopez, and then he finally was like, "Hey guys, what y'all doing? Thank you for following me around, you know." And it's nice that you guys have a lookalike. He goes, "Oh, wait a minute, we thought you were Johnny Depp." They followed him around for a long time.
That hasn't happened to me just yet. But I don't know. I cut my hair recently, and I've always worn fedoras. So it's like ever since I did, everyone's been like, "You look like Johnny Depp. You look like Johnny Depp." And I guess I'm kind of rolling with it now.
Yeah, it's weird how when you look for somebody, and then you're like, should I portray that part or should I be like that person? And you're like, no, because I don't want to be like that other lookalike again, because there's so many of them. Just like we were talking about, so many Elvis impersonators that last week. Remember that? How there was so many of them, and then you're like, I don't know if I should do that for a living anymore or at all, and things like that. And I was like, I'm so glad that I don't look like that person or any person like that, because I think, how they say we have one person that looks like us, already. I thought that's too many.
I met my doppelganger in
Really?
Walmart. Yeah, he literally. We had black hair down to our waist, tan complexion. We was both wearing wife beaters and camouflage shorts and boots, but he was wearing the blue and black camouflage. I was wearing the green and brown, but we were both dressed the same. We looked the same. He was just like 6 feet tall. So yeah. That was the only difference.
What did you think when you ran across from him? You're like, hi, or what did you think?
I pointed at him and I was like, you look like me. that sparked all. That was a great conversation, but yeah, we looked alike, but we didn't act alike. You know what I mean?
Right. I bet you were thinking, say, are we long lost twins? When's your birthday? Kind of thing.
Oh yeah, he looked like an older version of me. It was weird.
Oh my goodness, I can imagine that. It's like so weird like that, and it's like, especially if you're like one part of the country and then you move to another part of the country and then you're like running into each other. You're like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? Like that. So, but I wanted to say a happy belated Mother's Day to all you moms out there, and any for baby moms as well. So. Happy Mother's Day to everybody, and all you single dads too that are also playing the part as moms as well. So happy Mother's Day, everyone. So anyway, today was like a weird day today. I don't know. Did it feel like a Monday today to you, or did it feel weird?
Today has felt like it felt like a day, getting around in traffic. People just kept peeling in front of me, and I drive a pretty fast car, so here I am careening down the road, and people are just they want, I'm gunning for the spot so I can go straight at a light, and people are just jumping me in traffic.
Goodness gracious.
What are you guys yapping about? I hear a bunch of yapping on my show.
Traffic.
What the fuck you guys
Traffic, how bad it was today.
And then I hear Amelia go, it's in the radio silence into the dead air
was
zone.
No radio silence. We were talking about traffic, how it felt like a Monday today. He said it felt like a day.
You wished
today.
everybody a happy Mother's Day. That was yesterday.
I did a happy
What about
belated.
the rest of us mothers over here, huh?
I said happy belated Mother's Day. If you would have listened.
From one mother to another,
Hey,
right?
hey,
Steve
listen,
McCoy is on his way. I just got off the phone with him.
compa, listen. I said happy
Oh.
belated Mother's Day.
Oh, you want to talk about lookalikes, by the way. Here, I don't know if you can see it, but oh, man.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
We got a
Long
couple.
hair.
We got a couple guys named Michael Simmons and Gil Garcia.
Oh, yes.
Now, brother, let me tell you something. If you ran into Gil and Michael on the street, you would be hard pressed to say that wasn't Gene and Paul from Kiss.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very lookalike.
Yeah.
I mean, considerably
Oh,
lookalike.
how about it? We had them on the show, live and in person. And let me tell you something, brother. They look like Gene and Paul.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I've seen Gene and Paul close up and personal. And these guys look just fucking like
Yeah,
them,
and when he told me
Scary.
they were lookalikes, I didn't even bother looking up their pictures or anything like that. I was just waiting, and then when they came on, my jaw
Yeah.
dropped down to the floor. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, they were lookalikes."
Now,
we got, you know what? We don't bring them back on.
Yes.
You know, Amelia, we should have a show. I thought about doing this too. Now's a good time as any that we're talking about. I thought about bringing all of our lookalike guests on for one giant round table. Cal's laughing. It's a great idea, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm actually going to be at the Fanboy Expo in Knoxville a little later this summer. And
No cheap plugs. No cheap plugs on this show.
well, Gene
nothing-
Simmons is going to be there.
No cheap plugs for Steve Joyner. Nope. We're not going to mention Steve Joyner, publicist, on the show no more.
Well, Michael Simmons is back on Facebook now because
We're
he
not
was
going to tell anybody that he's Eddie Deaton's manager. We're not going to say that.
Well, Michael's back on
After
Facebook.
I just said all of that.
I only brought it up because Gene Simmons is going to be at that show.
Look. Let me just clarify something, okay? There he is.
Hello.
There he is.
Steve McCoy.
My brother.
How you doing, pal?
Hello, my brother, my friend, my brother from another mother. What's
It
happening?
has been a while. How you been?
Stephen, it's been a minute from one mother to another. Happy belated Mother's Day.
You
Happy
look like
Happy
Tom.
Mother's Day to you,
Thank you,
Angela.
brother. This is my friend, ladies and gentlemen. He is arguably, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to embarrass him. I don't give a shit. He is arguably the greatest Tom Jones tribute artist impersonator in the world. Why is there a difference between a tribute artist and an impersonator? Well, I asked that question, and I got an answer from Steve McCoy. He said, I become Tom. Don't tell him what you said, Steve. You're here. I don't have to answer for you. You're here, for crying out.
Well, as a tribute artist, you're just singing the songs of the artists. But as an impersonator, you're taking on all the mannerisms and actually becoming that artist. It's basically an acting job.
Right.
And there's a big difference in there. There's a big difference in that. And it's a dying skill nowadays. But there's
Let's talk about that, because you have, and I know your story, and every time I think, and I've told your story, by the way, on air to at least 24 people. And I will tell you that every time I tell your story, and I'm proud to, because you're a friend of mine, and I've known you a long time, and I paid a quarter one time to see you, Tom Jones, in your mom's basement. You guys, you don't even know. He's going to tell the story. I'm going to get him to tell the story again.
Mm-hmm.
Steve McCoy is one of those guys that his life should be a movie, because you can't make this stuff up. You just can't. His life, by the way, is also the subject of a book called, what was it called? Who Killed Tom Jones? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Right, Steve?
That's
And
right.
Gale Martin wrote that. How did
Gale
you hook
Martin wrote it. Yeah, she wrote it a couple years ago.
How did you hook up with Gale?
Gail just saw me on, on social media, and then she got in touch with me.
Wow.
She was pretty impressed with what I did. She saw me perform, I think, down in Atlantic City.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
We're going to actually have you tell that story and later in the show. I want to get into a little. First of all, let me introduce you first, Steve. Been a while since you've seen Amelia. Amelia's here.
Hello, Amelia. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
I had to put my glasses on for a minute because I thought that was Joe Stajansel.
Well, that's actually a Johnny Depp's twin brother. This is Cal Yater. Cal is an actor.
Hello, Cal. How are you?
How you doing, Steve?
Cal
Why do you sound like Tom Jones when you speak? Like, it is freaking me out. You look
I know, right?
sound like him.
He gets that a lot. You get that all the time, don't you, Steve?
When you as an actor, you totally understand what I'm referring to. Just what's a great example of being an impersonator, but he's on a different level, is that Timothy Chalamet, who just did the Bob Dylan movie.
Yes.
And
oh my God, he became Dylan, brother.
He really did.
And a lot of that film, Steve, was filmed here in Jersey in Cape May.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was filmed here. I know because I saw them filming.
Did you really?
Yeah. Oh, they were all over the place. Spielberg was just here 3 months ago in Wildwood.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, filming in Wildwood. Steve, we have a number of friends of the show who do tributes to other. We've had Michael Simmons and
that blind where the dog is, because he's going to go nuts. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, your dog's there. Okay.
My dog, the Federal Express, the UPS man, and the Amazon man.
Yep.
He would eat them alive if he could.
Fresh meat, brother, fresh meat.
Right.
But here's what I wanted to talk to you about. We have a number of friends of the show, Michael Simmons and Gil Garcia, who do Gene's, and Paul from Kiss, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, who are dead ringers. Our friend Danny Lopez, that's a spot on Johnny Depp lookalike. Endorsed by Johnny Depp, by the way.
That's great.
We've had Angelo Capone, probably the best Jerry Lewis.
Oh, yes.
That you'll ever see.
Oh, I know who he is. I know who he is.
Right, and of course Robert Cabela, who does Dean Martin, and Robert doesn't look a lot like Dean, but he's got Dean's pipes, brother. He's got Dean's. Yeah, he's got.
How about that comedic timing? Does he have the timing?
Oh my God,
that's great.
Precision.
That's great
timing. I'll send you a little clip of them. I'm actually going to go see them in June if I can talk my wife into going. I got to get my wife out of the house for a little bit.
How's things been, Angelo? How have you been?
Say again, Steve?
How have you been? How's things been?
Oh, God, wonderful. Brother, I'm going to tell you something. I keep telling people if things were any better for me, there'd be two of me. And that's a scary fucking thought.
That's great.
I'm doing really well. I'm doing well. Things are where and when I want them to be. People measure personal success differently. For some people, it's financial. For some people, it's notoriety. For me, it's knowing that I do what I love to do and I do it better than anybody.
Beautiful.
That's my success.
Beautiful.
When you've got people, like George Slaughter, who created Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, when you got people like George, who is like the preeminent Hollywood producer of all time, says to you, you need to be in LA. You missed your calling. When you got a guy like that who says that, that's a pat on the ass you can't buy, brother.
That's
Those are bragging rights.
It doesn't get too much better than that.
No, he started the careers of Goldie Hawn, Lily Tomlin, Tiny Tim. Oh my God, the list is endless. Alan Seuss, Henry Gibson. He started the careers of these people. They were
Ruth Buzzy had just passed away.
Yeah, Ruth just passed away a week ago.
Yeah.
And Joanne Worley is still around.
Yeah.
Nobody knew any of these people, Steve, until George Slaughter created, and he started this show purposely with all unknowns. They were all actors who had specialized in one thing only, the art of the improv. That leads me to you, Steve McCoy. How much improv in a Tom, I know you're looking at me with that smile on your face, so you know what's coming. You probably had this question a million times. How much improv does Tom, because he's still around.
After almost, in all honesty, almost 50 years, 35 years professionally. But after 50 years of doing Tom Jones, watching his performances and then shows, over 2,000 shows, the banter between songs and stuff becomes second nature, if you understand what I mean. So there isn't really a situation that comes up that I'm not really I'm not going to be able not to handle.
Let's talk about, because that's an interesting.
I'll give you, for instance, pretty funny story.
Okay.
I was performing in this club, and this girl come up to the stage, and I gave her a kiss, and she prompted herself just to jump up on the stage. She came up on the stage. She was wearing a jumpsuit. The whole both sides were out.
Oh
God.
And she jumped up onto the stage. I said, love, you can't be up here. And I'm just excited to see you and all that. I gave her another kiss. She started jumping up and down. Well, one of her breasts popped out of the side.
Oh, Lord.
She had humongous. They were humongous.
Oh my God.
It popped out, and she pushed it back in. When she pushed it back in, the one on the other side popped out.
Oh my God.
You can't she pushed
that one back in. I said, how many more do you got in there?
That's funny. Oh my God, that's funny.
An example of improvisation. You don't know what you're going to get.
People don't realize when they go to see a show. For you, it might be the first show, but for the guy on stage, he's been through every scenario. He's been through every sequence you could think of. He can handle any situation that comes. So someone seeing that for the first time, first of all, it sounds to me like a rib, like a setup, because it's just too damn. And you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's what people said after the show. Was she a plant? And I said no.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Because some of the best stuff happens spontaneously. Give you a perfect example. My wife and I, Anita and I, went to see Angelo Capone and Phil Solis do the Dean and Jerry show 2 years ago, and they pulled my wife on stage, and just everything that you could think of, they did to her. Now, she didn't know what was coming.
Oh my
I
God.
didn't know that what was coming, but I knew that what they were doing was part of a well-oiled act.
Right.
But to the people there, they just seen him, pulling some, lady up, some pretty woman up the front, and they're just going to have, their way with her, which was hilarious, by the way. I laughed my ass off, and we talked about it all the way home. It was great. But here's the thing, though: how do you make it fresh for you, not just for the audience, but how do you do it for you, Steve? How do you make it fresh for yourself?
Angelo, it was really, and I'm not being funny because I think this is it's a pretty cool question. And I gotta say this to you. I asked Tom Jones that. How do you keep it fresh? How do you go out there and do Delilah and and make them all make it all like it's just, like it's the first time you've done it.
Right.
And he said to me, he says, I go by the audience. He said, and every time I do a song, the lyric, he said, I take it back to a time in my life because something it'll apply to something in his life.
Yeah.
And that's how that's what I've followed. And that's all I do with my songs is a lot of times, my mother passed away a few years ago, and one of her favorite songs was Till.
Oh,
And
my God, I love that song. Yeah.
yeah, and
Beautiful.
Tom Jones does a great job of it. But I've had it in my show, and it was her favorite song. And it was very hard for me to sing that song for a while.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's, but
Your mother was, God rest her soul, was a beautiful, lovely lady. Lovely.
she's
woman.
a sweetie. She was a real sweetie.
And you look just like her, brother.
That's why I don't let my hair go white.
Oh,
If I let my hair go white, I'll look just like my mother.
well, people start calling you Mrs. McCoy. Right? I'm going to open this up, Steve. I'm going to, since Cal is the newest member of our team. Cal, you are up, my friend. Go for it.
So when did you realize that, you were able to, be Tom Jones? Like what pushed you in this direction?
Here comes the story. Here comes the story.
Yeah. I seriously, when I was a little kid, and Angelo knows the names that I'll name. He knows them. There was a young guy on my block. His name was Pete Caffrey. He's a very dear friend of mine. And him and a buddy of mine, Ed McGurk, the three of us, you know how kids play cowboys and Indians and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we would play Elvis Presley. And Pete was always Elvis Presley. And we would put a record on, and he would sing to the record. And Ed McGurk and myself, we would fight. We would beat each other up. Just like an Elvis movie or whatever it is. Anyway, that's the kind of stuff we did. We played John Wayne. We did all these different things. And but Pete would pantomime to these Elvis songs. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in 1970, Tom Jones, or 69, Tom Jones is on TV. And my mother and sister, like Thursday nights, you had to sit. They were right there in front of the TV going nuts. And I'm looking at him and I'm going, well, I don't look like Elvis Presley. I said, but my God, I look like Tom Jones. And I started pantomiming to Tom Jones records myself. And as Angelo can tell you, I used to do shows in my basement. That's how I got started.
God bless you.
Yes, right? Angelo, go ahead.
Can't make this up. Let me tell you something. To the point where he had, and I'm not making a word of this up, in his backyard, there was an entrance that went into the kitchen and an entrance that went into the basement. Above the basement entrance, it said Caesar's Palace.
Yay.
Am I lying? I'm not making a word of this
I
up.
love
Now,
it.
Steve would charge you a different fee depending on where you sat. If you sat
I love it.
ringside, a ringside seat would
We
cost
had-
you a quarter.
Yes, we had 25 cents to sit up front, and then we had the middle section was 15, and then 10 cents to sit in the back.
In the back.
Sounds like a wrestling.
Not
I-
making a word of it up.
Love it.
I swear to you that's what we did. And I had in the neighborhood kids would work. They would somebody would collect the tickets. I wouldn't let the people in till 1 o'clock. They were lined up
Yeah.
down the street to come in
Not
to see
making
the show.
a word of this up. I promise you, folks, he's not making a word of this up.
I
You
love
know the
it.
coffee cans? You know the big coffee cans?
Yes.
Well, I cut the back of the coffee can out, and I had fixed up in the rafters in the basement. I had fixed this the floodlights and put the coffee can over top. It fit perfect.
It looked like a spotlight.
It made it look like a spotlight, and I put all those up. We had different. I found in the trash somewhere. I found somebody had thrown out their old drapery, and we used that as the curtain in the back.
Yeah, the back
And-
and the backdrop.
Awesome.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I had two girls. Two girls were twins. They were the
I was
Abrams.
just going to ask you about the backup girls. Go ahead.
Tammy
I had
and
forgotten
Sandy.
who they were.
Tammy and Sandy, and not too long ago on Facebook, I had connected back up with Pammy and Sandy. It's been years. I mean, we were little kids. I was 13 years old.
They were
But-
the background singers.
They were the background singers, and then they would pantomime to either the Supremes or the Honeycombs, one of those groups. And they would come on before I did, and it was just
The opening act.
Yeah, I had
Cal,
went.
on a fateful day, Cal, Steve was approached by some friends who said, "Hey, they're having a Tom Jones lookalike contest in Atlantic City. You should enter." Tell Cal, because he's a new guy, and we
Yeah.
have a completely new audience. So tell them what happened on that.
Cal, this is years later. I mean, I was 13 when I would do these shows in the basement. I had gone and there used to be in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, there used to be a place called the Latin Casino where all the stars went.
Beautiful.
And you could see, you could see everybody from Sammy Davis to Frank Sinatra, everybody. And I would go there. And the first time that I went to see Tom Jones there, I said, that's what I want to do. I said, that's what I want to do. Because those people went crazy for him.
They
But
sure did.
I would do pantomime and never sang in my life. I in my house, yes, but never publicly. But it was 1989, and at the time, John DeBella had a show, The Morning Zoo, on WMMR, and he was in Philadelphia, and it was the #1 radio show. And he had asked, he was going down, going to do a live show down at Trump Plaza in Atlantic City. And he had Tom Jones as a guest because Tom Jones was performing there that weekend. So he decided, I'm going to have a Tom Jones lookalike contest. And all my buddies told me, you need to go down there. You'll win first prize. You'll win first prize. And okay, so I went down the night before. I got up in the morning. I went over there to go into the place, into the theater. There was 800 people there.
Whoa.
And there were 10 contestants. And when I walked in, I was down there with some buddies the night before. We had gotten snookered up. We had it, So I had a headache. And as I'm walking in, here comes Tom Jones. And I said, hello. And he said, good morning. I said, how are you today? He said, I haven't been to bed yet.
Oh my goodness.
He says, I've got a bit of a head. And anyway, I said, so do I. So anyway, we crossed paths. And I go out there and I'm standing in line with these 10 other contestants, 800 people in the audience, like I said. And the guy comes up to me and he says, what song are you going to sing? And I went, sing? I can pantomime. Oh, no, you got to sing. What song are you going to sing? Oh, my God. So I said, I never sang before. And they said, well, you got to sing. I said, okay, I'll do it. It's not unusual. So these other contestants, they're all coming and going. They're all doing their thing. And it came time for me to get up there, and I started singing and dancing, and the people went crazy. The women were throwing their panties on the stage and all that. And Tom Jones, he was laughing his ass off. He thought it was hysterical. And I won first prize.
Awesome.
Tom Jones did, he's the best. It was a $2,000 travel pass on TWA plus $2,000. Can you believe that?
Now, let me tell you something, Cal. In his humility, my dear friend Steve McCoy left out the most fortuitous part of the story, which is that none of this almost never happened because of one, God bless his heart, doorman who almost didn't let Steve in the building. Tell them that story, my friend.
When I woke up, because we had been up all night drinking, when I woke up, it was 8:00. And I wasn't, oh my God, we got to be down there at 8:00. And I went running down. I got down there, and the doorman was standing there and he's shutting the door. And I says, hey, I'm here for the contest. Says, too late. It's closed. And I'm all dressed like Tom Jones. And I said, come on. I said, look at the way I'm dressed. You got to let me in. And that's when he said, okay. And that's where I crossed paths with Tom Jones. That's what happened there.
These are defining moments. Amelia,
Yes.
you and I have talked about this before. These are defining moments.
Yes.
That moment. The
Yes.
story means nothing without that
That little
pivotal moment that changed you're here today
Yes.
because of that doorman.
Yes.
You're making $1 million a week because of that doorman.
in my opinion, the changing point was it just so happened there was a show called Legends in Concert.
In concert, yeah.
And the guy that owned Legends in Concert, Jon Stewart, at the time,
Yes.
had a show running at Harrah's in Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
And he was staying at Harrah's, and he was up in his room. And that night I was on Channel 6 News. Local boy wins his Tom Jones lookalike contest.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happens he was looking for a Tom Jones lookalike.
Wow.
That is called serendipity.
Yes.
He was putting his cowboy boots on and watching the news, and he saw that, got in touch with WMMR, who got in touch with me.
Yep.
And then I hooked up with him. And he asked me if I would come down and audition, which I did. He had me sing Delilah about 6 times in a key that I don't even know what I don't even know what I was doing. And he said, I'll give you a call. And
Wow.
I didn't hear from him. I didn't hear from him for a couple months.
Right.
And I had a half-assed landscaping company that I had back then that I was working. And I had my partner that I was working with, and I said, we're busy as anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a phone call from Jon Stewart saying, hey, I'd love you to come out to Las Vegas and to be in my show. And I said, well, you mean people get paid to do this? And he said, yeah. And I went, oh my God.
Yeah, they get paid quite well, in fact.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I told my partner, I said, listen, I'm going to go out there. And he says, you can't leave now. We're busy as hell.
Yeah.
I said, if I don't do this, I'll kick myself in the ass for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
I used my $2,000 TWA travel pass and went out to Las Vegas. I auditioned. I watched the show and I was blown away. They had a guy, Donnie Ray Evans was his name, who did Nat King Cole.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, Angela?
Oh my God, do I? Please.
Donnie was a splitting image of Nat King Cole.
Yep.
And he would stand there in a silhouette with his back to the audience. He opened the show.
Yeah, slowly turn.
And you'd hear, Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, men have named you, right? And you'd hear the velvet voice of Mr. Nat King Cole. And he turned around. When he turned around, the lights came on. You could hear in the audience. I'm getting chills. You could hear the audience go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, he was brilliant. The show was great. They had Tony Roy in the show. They had a guy who did Elvis Presley. He was phenomenal. Had a young guy named George Trulinger who did Buddy Holly.
Oh God, George. Ed Sullivan, Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
George is amazing.
Barbara Bogart was doing Marilyn Monroe. She was incredible. I mean, every act was great. So here I am. I did the audition. He put me in the show the next night.
Mm-hmm. Remarkable.
Wow.
And I never
questions for Steve.
Absolutely. Has there been a song that you have not really wanted to do, depending on the audience reaction towards your shows that you?
A song that I didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love Tom Jones's music. I love blues music to begin with myself, and his music is. I just love his music. I love his selections and stuff like that. So I can't say there isn't any song that I really don't like singing, especially his music. I love Thunderball. I do it in my show.
Awesome.
It's interesting, Steve. I want to follow up on something Amelia said. I'm going to put a little twist on it, though. Are there elements of Tom Jones's performance, particularly the "This Is Tom Jones" set that you do, and because that's basically, you're recreating "This Is Tom Jones," and I want to put it up here. This is Tom Jones, the tribute, starring Steve McCoy, and we're going to get more information on that and the Real McCoy LLC later on in the show. But I have a question for you. Are there any elements of that show that, if you had your choice, would change, or do you keep true to the original context?
No, I'm doing. As I'm older as well, I'm doing more of the like the '90s, the late '90s Tom Jones, the Kiss era, when he came out with Kiss. And that's the era that I'm doing now. I mean, I used to wear the bolero jackets and stuff like that, and I wouldn't look like that.
Well, let's see. And you know what, Steve? Let's take a look at that right now.
Go ahead.
Tom Jones. It's Tom Jones. Tom Jones. That's Tom Jones. Tom Jones. Tom Jones. Yeah, hello. Woo.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Steve McCoy, and I come from Las Vegas, Nevada. I do a tribute to Tom Jones, and I've been doing this for going on 30 years now. And I'd like to say that it's great to be here at the Palace Theater, here in the Dells. And we're going to have a great time this weekend. I hope to see you all come down here. To give you a little background on me, I started out, I'm originally from New Jersey. I started out, I did a Tom Jones lookalike contest, and Tom Jones was the judge. And I won first prize, which led me out to Las Vegas, and I've been out there now 30 years. Performed in the Legends in Concert for 30 years now. What you're going to see if you come out and see our show tonight is it's a reproduction of one of Tom's shows. It's a great show. We have a live band, horns. You'll have a great time. And I hope that you all come out and see us.
When I caught you in his arms, I just broke down, cried. But if I ever find that you changed every time, it's not unusual to find that I'm in love with you. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah.
All right, where are we at? Here we go. Hot damn. Oh, here we go. There it is. Hot damn.
We're back.
I found it. Hot shit. There we go. I lost my camera for a second.
I know. I was like, what?
Steve, I've noticed something. I watched your early stuff from Atlantic City, and I watched this clip intently. First of all, thank you to the people that let us use this clip. It's the only one they would allow us to use because it had under 12 seconds of copyrighted music, so we were allowed to use that. One of the things, and thank you to the legal department. One of the things I noticed is the energy level is still there, but as Tom got older, the pacing of the show tempered a bit. It wasn't, obviously the fast-paced, swivel hips, dancing kind of stuff. That Tom is in his 80s now, and you and I are not exactly young anymore. How do you temper? That's, I guess, the best way to put it. How do you temper your energy level, your pacing of your energy level in a show that's a 90-minute show? How do you do that?
That's it. I don't know. I just do it. I enjoy it. So it's not really. It's not really. I just follow his shows. I'm not doing the music that he's doing now because it's a lot deeper, and he's doing a lot of gospel music now and stuff like that. And he's not dancing like he used to. He's still the incredible voice.
Oh, absolutely, of course.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I mean, he
kind of reminds me of Elvis Presley. Elvis up to probably 1975 or so was still able to move, but then as 76, 77 came around.
Well, everybody, nobody's going to stay the same. I mean, we all age. I mean, we all get older.
And I want to talk to you about that, the aging process, because as these guys are getting older, and look, nature happens. We all pass at some point, right?
Yeah.
One of the only thing sometimes that we have to remember certain people are guys like you, the tributes. The guys who, and that's why I believe, and this is just my personal belief on this, that's why I believe that people like Tom Jones and Elvis and Wayne Newton and and Judy Garland and Liza, people like that are so duplicated, is because they had that it factor, that the intangible quality that we don't understand it.
Oh, you're so right. You're so right. But it is it's. I had said this earlier in Cal. When I was talking about Cal, I had said that it's like an acting job. Yeah. And when you take on a character, and my character being Tom Jones, it's an art. It's not everybody can do this. Yeah. Some people, oh my God, you look just like them. But do they sound like them? Can they act like them? Can they recreate that excitement? That's the part. I've seen a lot of tribute artists over the years, and there are some that really have great looks, but they have no personality on stage. Yeah. It doesn't come across. They sing, and they're almost they're kind of robotic.
Yeah.
So it is an acting job, and it's an art. And I think that a lot of impersonators get they don't get the credit that they deserve.
Oh, I think they are these days. I'll tell you what, the more, and I'm going to tell you why I believe that. When you're, so I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. There's a guy, his name is Bobby Brooks Wilson.
Yeah.
You know who Bobby is.
Yeah, I know Bobby well.
Okay. Bobby Brooks Wilson is a dead ringer, spitting image, mirror image of Jackie Wilson. Who if you believe the story, is Jackie Wilson's son. If you believe the story, and I've heard various incarnations of that story. Be that as it may, if he's a tribute artist, he's damn good. He's probably one of the best in the world.
Bobby's a hell of an entertainer. He really is.
Really is.
He really is. He's a hell of an entertainer, and Bobby used to do Stevie Wonder. And he does an incredible job of Stevie Wonder as well. But his Jackie Wilson is great. He's just like him. He brings it to life. He really does. And he tours a lot. He tours a lot.
Oh man, does he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is that his stage presence is there. His look is there. His voice is spot on.
Correct.
Would be hard, and he's telling the story, and of course he's got the endorsement of Jackie Wilson's family, of course. Jackie Wilson's other children. Whether he's Jackie Wilson's son, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Here's the thing, though. He's doing justice to the guy.
Oh my God! You can't. The one thing you can't take away from Bobby is that he becomes Jackie Wilson, and there's no denying that. And Jackie Wilson was one of the ultimate entertainers.
Oh my God!
I mean, he was phenomenal.
I actually saw him, Steve, at the Latin Casino the night before he passed.
Did you really? How wild is that?
Well, my father spent a lot of time with us at the Latin, because he knew everybody. He knew everybody at the Latin. It was at the Latin Casino that I got up on stage and sang with Dion.
Really? Is that where you met Dion? Is that where you met Dion?
No, my father knew Dion for 60 years. My father was a good friend of Dion DiMucci. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. And but it was funny because I met Dick Clark after the show, and he gave me the old attaboy, because I was just
Angelo, have you heard of this kid Chris Ruggiero?
Yeah.
What do you think of him?
Man, I'm gonna tell you. It was like anything else, anybody else. There's an element there's the scary element, like when I watch Steve McCoy, it's kind of scary and I know you, but I know what you could do. And there are people like that. A guy like James Lowry is a scary guy in his prime to watch.
Yeah.
Because he did Elvis better than Elvis.
Wow.
Tony Roy.
He had a big voice.
Yeah.
Tony Roy to me. I mean, there's a young guy out there now. I'm working with tribute artists more and more now. Mm-hmm. And I work with a buddy of mine that I've known for quite a number of years. His name is Sean Clush.
Oh, Sean.
And he is an ultimate Elvis tribute artist. He won the first ultimate Elvis tribute from Graceland. He won it. Sean's great. But there's there's a couple young guys out there now, young They're in their early 30s. Dean Z. This kid's great as Elvis.
Oh my God, Bill Cherry.
Bill. Yeah, Bill's another one. Victor Trevino, another young. I'm talking about young guys that are doing this, that they're keeping it going, and they're following the pattern the way it should be. Dwight Eisenhower does a great Elvis. There's a lot of young, brilliant acts. I got a couple that I'm working with right now. This young girl named JC. She's out of Branson, and she does Adele, and she's a dead ringer.
Wow.
She's actually, if it's the same girl, she's actually coming to Pittman, to the Broadway Theater.
If it's JC, yeah, she's from Branson. I'm not sure if it's her or not, but she is incredible. She's incredible.
The Adele show that's coming to the Broadway Theater is called Absolutely Adele.
No, that's not the same girl.
Okay.
No. This is called An Evening with Adele.
Oh. Okay, got it.
And JC, now here you go. You have somebody that she looks just like the character. She sings amazingly just like the character.
Right.
And she has all the banter on stage. It is so believable. I mean, the audience, we just got done doing a show in the Midwest, one of the casinos. And I'm in the back watching, and I'm going, oh, my God, these people are acting like they're Elvis fans. They're singing note for note, word for word. They were going crazy. Place was sold out. She does a great job. She's another one.
Wow, that's amazing.
There's another young lady who does Gloria Estefan, and her name's Gaby. She's incredible. Gaby Lopez. She's just phenomenal.
Wow.
And Gloria Estefan. If you can do Gloria Estefan, you know what kind of energy level that was.
Oh yeah.
She's phenomenal. And I got another young guy that I work with, and I love him. He's from Scotland originally. I was looking for an Elton John, and I came across him in Florida. He was just working bars. And I saw him, and I said, hey, I'd like to work with you. I was working in Atlantic City at the time. I asked him to come up and spend a couple of days, and we went over his stuff, worked on his vibrato a little bit, and I told him he had to get some better costumes and stuff. We worked on a show to put it together and stuff. But he's brilliant. I got to tell you, 2 years ago, he was working in Atlantic City with Legends in Concert. Yeah, I think it was 3 years ago. He was working in Atlantic City with Legends in Concert. I got him in Legends, and he was working with them. And he gives me a call, and he says, I got a fucking phone call from Elton John. He says, I can't fucking believe it, Elton John. He wants me to come and tour with him.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Amazing.
Russ Anderson, his name is, from Scotland. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. Angela, you got to check this kid out.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to hit you up for a couple of. I got a couple of big asks for you after the show.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you. Well, I want to talk a little bit about this. One of the things that I enjoy is seeing a tribute of people who I admire and love and never had a chance to see them because they had early demises or their careers went south for whatever reason. One of those people was Judy Garland. You worked in Legends with probably
Rebecca Young.
The best Judy I've ever seen.
Incredible. She was incredible.
Yeah.
And I want to say this is the one thing, Angelo. It's kind of funny. And I remember when I first started in Legends in Concert, there was Art Vargas used to do Bobby Darin, and George Trulinger at the time was doing Buddy Holly, and we had a guy did Roy Orbison. I mean, these acts were phenomenal, And it was funny because I watched as the time frame, the audience members were dying off as it gets, as time goes on.
Yeah.
Elvis is he's the exception to the rule.
Right.
But I watched these guys, and I would watch in the wings, and this was in the early '90s when I was working there, and I said to myself, I said, my day's going to come when I'm not going to be as popular. My act is not going to be as popular, and you got to admit the Tom Jones audience is not as popular as it was.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
because
everything changed.
that audience is dying out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And thank God with Tom's voice that he's had a great resurgence of a few years ago with the album Reload, and he's done very well. I mean, he's still prevalent. I mean, he's big in Europe.
A big show in Austin, Texas, this past weekend.
Yeah. He's really doing it. I mean, he's great, but the audience is shrinking, if you get what I mean.
And I want to talk about that. Where are the next generation of tributes coming from? I'm going to give you a perfect example. We remember Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Elvis, Elton John. So, the classic entertainers.
Well, it's changing. It's changing, Angelo, because just like you named Judy Garland,
right?
Judy Garland, that audience is really not. They're not around.
Yeah. Well,
so becoming just like Tom Jones is. The audience is going the other way. Now the stars that are getting big are David Bowie, Rod Stewart. It's more of the rock generation now. Elton John.
Yeah.
All these guys, Stevie Nicks.
It's
Cher.
For me here's the scary part. This is where I'm going with this. It's frightening for me to think that someday there's going to be an Eminem tribute show or a 50 Cent tribute show or a Tupac.
There already is. I was blown away that they would start with Britney Spears. I mean,
wow.
There you go. Exactly. You're making my point for me.
Oh my God.
Shania Twain.
I'm going to be the old fart in the room, Steve. I'm going to be the guy going, no.
Well, Angelo, I hate to break it to you. We are the old farts in the room.
I know. God bless us. Go ahead there, Cal. It's your turn up.
Sorry, I had trouble swallowing that water.
There you go.
So you started, so you're, I'm trying to think here. So your voice, how long did it take you to train your voice to, because I was watching your performance and literally it sounds like Tom Jones.
Cal, I know exactly what you're saying, and I got to tell you, I think it's just God's gift. I really do. I think it's a gift from God. I still marvel to this day. It took me, I would basically say it took me in my opinion, 5 to 8 years before I was comfortable going on stage and saying, I'm secure that I sound like Tom Jones.
Yeah, because you said earlier that, you wasn't really a singer to begin with. And
at all.
You had to develop it,
Yeah. Well, I saw you, Steve.
Hold on, Andrew. I've got a dear friend of mine that she had heard a song, and I'm bringing this up. She had heard a song, one of Tom Jones's songs, "You're My World," And I love the song and everything, but I never really tackled it because of the
high range.
the notes. You got to listen to the
It's
song.
kind of high end range. Yeah, sure
Oh,
does.
it's incredible. And so I've started singing that, and that's I'm putting that in my show. It's
You're
a
My
new song.
World was we have to give credit to the artist. Was originally recorded by female Cilla Black. Because
Yes.
it happens to be one of my favorite songs, and I actually met Cilla Black many years ago. And she is a wonderful lady. I think she's still around. I'm not sure, but she was a wonderful woman and had a hell of a set of pipes on her.
Oh yeah, great. I'm with the song "You're My World." I would just sing the song with him, and this is how I go about. I listen to the song. I listen to it a few times. I know the words, and then I just start singing with them, and then I'll go out and do it myself.
The interesting thing, Steve, is that you're not a classically trained musician.
No,
But
not at all.
You have a keen ear for the sound, the
Thank you.
dialect, the
Thank you.
nuances.
Yeah.
How important is that, not just for yourself, but for the tribute artists that would be to capture the nuance?
I've told you this before, Angelo. The most important thing, in my opinion, for a tribute artist is that, number one, you've got to look like the character. When you walk on stage, that's the first thing they see. Your audience has to be blown away with how you look.
Yeah.
Then the second thing is going to be the voice.
Yeah.
And then the third and most important part is to be able to act like that person, but not make it robotic, and become that person and still keep your personality. And you've got to be able to reach out to the audience, break that third wall so that they believe who you are. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's
I mean, you still got to be an entertainer in your own right.
Yeah. How important, and this is kind of like a loaded question, and I'll admit it. How important is it to have the blessing of the original artist? Is it important? Because Tom Jones, I said it on air before to you, he put a rocket booster to your ass, and you went to the stratosphere, brother. You know. He strapped a rocket to you, and you took off.
He's a real super nice guy. He's a regular guy, Angelo. He's just like us.
Oh,
absolutely. Regular guy.
How important is it, though? The
same with anything is, when you got backing of the artist itself, people are going to turn their head. They're going to pay attention.
All right.
Exactly. Amelia, questions for Steve McCoy?
Because I noticed that you said you were working with someone that for Adele and other artists. Do you have to get the permission from the actual artist to be able to sing their songs?
No. There is no. You don't need permission to. You're paying tribute, and it's not recorded for sale. It's a live performance, so you don't need their permission. You don't. But at the same time, there are artists out there that don't want you to impersonate them. They might get upset. I'm very blessed. I've got to tell you, a buddy of mine, and his name's Gary Moore, who does Little Richard.
Oh my God, Gary is great.
Gary is Little Richard. I mean, when he opened,
absolutely.
Little Richard was not thrilled with the fact that he was impersonating him.
Oh,
I heard that. Can you tell everybody why?
He wanted you to be your own person. He didn't want. an impersonator. He said, "There's only one Little Richard." Woo!
That's him.
You know,
But
but it keeps, just like you said earlier, it keeps that character in the spotlight.
Yeah.
and you
Otherwise,
yeah, I mean, you would think, had he lived, he might change his mind that, hey, man, this guy's keeping you alive, brother.
Yeah, I keep him his
You know?
memory alive.
Let me
for
show
other
everybody
generations.
Sean Clush. I want to show everybody Sean
Yeah.
Clush because he is kind of scary looking guy, and he's one of those people. Take a look at this guy. That's
Oh,
Sean
wow.
Clush. That's Sean. You'd be hard pressed. He does kind of. The guy's good, man. He's really good. And you know what the thing is too? He can sing. He can really sing.
Yeah. Oh, he sings his ass off. Yeah.
And he does it effortlessly. He's not trying to be Elvis. And not, by the way, and let's just address the elephant in the room. Bill Cherry has been accused of trying to be Elvis, you know. Bill's a really nice guy.
That is not true at all. Bill
I know that.
Bill's super. Bill does not think he's Elvis. Neither does Sean. Not, it's really a saying. You know, I got to tell you something. It's kind of funny. The Elvis world is pretty crazy.
They're quirky, man. The Elvis. I want to, before you do, Steve. Let me address this here. And because I go back and forth with people on social media, let's be honest, right? Okay, I'm a huge Elvis fan. I met Elvis in 1977, about 2 months before he died. Okay,
wow, that's cool.
Straight up. I was working for Jerry Blavat at the time. Straight up,
Jerry Blavat, the heater with the heater.
Yeah, what happened was that. If you are an Elvis loyalist, you don't care about nothing that anybody says. You're going to defend the guy. Good, absolutely defend him. No problem. I'm just reporting what I hear. I'm reporting what I see. And some of these Elvis loyalists, they don't want anybody impersonating Elvis, whether it's Bill or Sean or guys like Victor Trevino or anybody like that. Look, back in the day, there were people who got angry at James Lowry and Tony Roy for crying out loud.
Sure.
For real. I'm not making any of this up. You don't.
Sean was just like I'm going to give you for instance. They were doing a contest, and Sean went to see the contest. And he got up and left. And people were saying, well, who's he think he is? He got up and left, and he thinks he's all this and all that.
Uh-oh.
Here's the truth of what happened. Sean went down to watch the contest, and he started getting mobbed by people.
Yeah.
They wouldn't leave him alone, and it was distracting from the guys on stage.
On stage, yeah.
So he had to turn around and go back up and sit in his hotel room.
Wow.
There's an example of how people twist things.
Well, one of the things I know about Bill Cherry is Bill is a laid back guy. He's a t-shirt and jeans guy.
Oh, he's a regular guy. Yeah.
He's got long hair. He wears a do-rag. People don't know that. He puts that hair up under a wig.
Yeah.
He's got the sideburns. They're his sideburns, folks. But Bill's got some long ass hair, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And he wears it in a ponytail most of the time. But he's a good old boy, okay?
Oh boy, his recreation is great.
Oh my God, spot on.
He's got a great voice. He's got a great voice. He's great. Show a picture of him. Hey, Angelo, show a picture of him.
I will do that right now. I will do that right now. Bill Cherry. I'm going to pull him up here for you.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to see that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Amelia, have you never seen Bill Cherry?
No, I have not.
Oh, my God. Watch.
I can't wait. I want to go back to when you were putting concerts on your basement. What would you wear? I want to go back to that.
I seriously, I wore pants that I had made so that they would fit me. and I would wear a white shirt and a bolero jacket.
Mhm.
I can't. Angela, what was the name of that costume place over in Philadelphia? It was famous. Pierre's.
Pierre's on Second and
I went in there. I
Second
went
and
in there.
Bainbridge. Yeah,
Was
somewhere
it
around
second and Benji? Something like
there.
that.
Yeah, it
I
sure
went.
was.
I went in there and I bought a waiter's jacket.
Mhm.
And my mom had a friend that was a seamstress, and I had her put sequins on the jacket.
Yeah.
And that's I wore the sequins jacket.
Awesome. That would be so cool. See,
Yeah.
when I was growing up, I did a little concert too, but I didn't charge anybody. Maybe I should have, huh?
Oh, I charged them all. Listen, I want to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to show you one of the jackets.
Oh,
Okay.
good. Uh-huh.
So, Angela, show your picture so I can walk away for a minute. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's gonna be fun. I
Mhm.
can't wait to
Yeah.
see that jacket.
Yeah, let me pull this up here, Mill.
Oh my goodness!
Here we go.
Today it rained. We're at the season now in Florida where it's gonna start raining. You could clock your watch by it. It's gonna be raining like that all the time.
The weather here coming up next week, they're saying that we're going to be like in South Carolina, they're expecting us to have a tornado outbreak.
Oh geez.
Yeah, we never wow.
That's Bill Cherry.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
That's Bill.
Wow.
That's one picture of Bill.
The
There's
facial features are just like wow.
yeah, there are certain ways, certain poses he does
Uh-huh.
where he looks spitting image, and you'd be hard pressed to tell.
They would have to study probably for hours upon hours upon hours just to get the character right and correct for every show. Any impersonator of Elvis,
Right.
Sorry.
even
that's
the
Bill.
costumes.
Let me see if I pull another one up here real quick. Here you go. We'll pull this one up.
Especially with the costume changes and everything like that. I wonder how much each costume would have to, they'd have to pay for each costume just to get it up to perfection for
Right.
the Elvis shows. I mean, because that he paid a pretty penny for each one of them. Elvis did, even just to
Oh,
get
well, yeah,
into
sure.
it, for them. That's amazing. Oh
Angela.
my God.
Wow.
Look at that jacket. That is so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
look at
Let
that
me
picture.
see. Hold on. Let me pull this down real quick.
Oh my goodness, look at that jacket. I love it. Oh wow.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I love it. That is so cool.
He used to fit in that.
That is so cool. I love it.
Oh my God, Angela,
Did you hear what he said?
my waist was 32. It was a
Yeah,
32
I'll tell
inch.
you what, I wanted to show your promo reel, but legal won't let us
Why is that?
because it's got copyrighted material in it.
Mhm.
YouTube won't let us air it.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The only to the point, Steve, where I have to do this now. I have to send disclaimer packages out and copyright releases to people. How about it, Amelia?
Right? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I guess it's just getting a little crazy.
It is.
Well, you know what it is? People are starting to pirate music again.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Here is Bill Cherry.
Yeah.
Here's another picture of Bill.
That's a great shot. Look at that.
Yeah.
I was talking about the facial features, how remarkable.
Hey,
Bill's a good-looking guy.
Pull up Russ Anderson as Elton John.
I can do that. You bet.
Wow.
Russ Anderson.
Yeah.
All right, Amelia.
Yes.
Talk.
Okay, I can't wait to see that picture to see how familiar that. And you said that was the one here in Florida that you found?
Yes.
Wow. Do you just do your shows in Vegas, or you are gonna be?
I
touring?
travel all over the place. I work everywhere. I mean, we go overseas. We do everything.
Oh yeah, he,
I myself I'm not traveling. I'm not performing as much as I used to.
Mhm.
I'm getting older. The characters, the popularity is not, the drawing is not there. I was trying to get back east. There he is.
Wow,
Crap.
wow,
remarkable.
remarkable resemblance.
There
And-
was a
and-
guy that I saw, and Steve, you know the guy because you worked with him in Legends. He not only looked like the character, but he played his ass off. And it's hard to duplicate the one and only Liberace.
Oh my God, that Daryl Wagner. was
Daryl
his
Wagner. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I got to tell you, Daryl was phenomenal. I mean, he was funny as anything, and he played that piano every bit as good as Liberace.
I'm telling you, he did,
Wow.
brother. He was great. Sadly, so many of these tribute artists have met young demises. All too familiar. And we look at people like of course, the Judy Garland tribute artist who drank herself to death.
Yeah. I
you know-
had a buddy of mine. His name was Frank Moore,
Mhm.
and he did Prince. Would you do me a favor? Because
Sure.
it pull up Frank
got it.
Moore as Prince.
Wow.
Wait till you see this picture, and he was every bit as good as that, and he passed away early age.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Oh,
Like you
I
said, they're
know who this guy is. Oh my God, I know who he is.
wow, they pass away
Wait
so
till you
early
admit-
age.
This is gonna rock you. When I show you this photo, it's gonna rock you.
You're
Wow.
Emil, you're not going to believe this.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you
goodness.
And he was every bit as good.
Wow.
What?
Is that incredible?
Oh my.
What? Okay, here's the question: which one is the real Prince?
The one on the
That-
left.
No, they both are. They're both Frank Moore. Both of
What?
Exactly. Thank you. They're not. That's
Hey,
Frank
they-
Moore.
They look
There's
just like
Prince is not pictured.
what?
Prince is not pictured there. That's Frank.
Are you
Both photos, folks.
kidding me?
That guitar
Both
must have cost a
photos.
fortune.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's the other thing. You got to
He
remember
had
something.
that guitar made. He had that guitar made.
Oh
And
my
that's
goodness.
part you have to remember something. When these guys are performing their character, they got to look the part. They got to be the part. They got to play
Exactly.
the part. They all play their own instruments. Nothing is tracked. There are
Mhm.
no tracks in Legends. You're not going to have it. There's no Milli Vanilli
Yeah.
at Legends. Okay.
No. Just
know?
like there's one that
we're
looks
doggy
identical
lovers
to
around
Michael
here, Steve.
Jackson.
Let them bark. It's all good
Yeah.
with us.
Mine bark like crazy too.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry about that.
No, brother. Look, we love doggies around here.
Yeah.
Dog-
Mine
He's
bark like
been-
crazy.
he wants to be part of the show, man.
Mhm.
My dog is a show.
I'll tell you who. When I saw you in Atlantic City that night, but you were first started at Bally's. You were working with a guy I got to know a little bit, and then I lost touch with him. His name was Ekaz Nova.
Uh-huh.
Remember, Ekaz did Michael Jackson. Whatever happened to Ekaz?
I really don't know. I really don't know.
Because he just kind of fizzled off the planet.
Yeah. And he was a good Michael Jackson
He
too.
was great, Michael. Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a young guy out there now. He does it. His name is William Hall. He's great. And another guy that is out here in Vegas. He's got his own show doing Michael Jackson. I believe he's at the Rio.
mhm.
And his name is Michael Feinstein.
Oh, I know who Michael Feinstein is.
Firestone.
Okay.
Michael Firestone.
Firestone. And Michael is reminiscent to me of a guy named Navi. Navi.
Yeah.
Navi.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Navi.
Aw.
Uh,
Little Yorkie.
Amelia, final round of questions before we head out and say good night to Steve. But Steve, don't leave us after the show, because I want to ask. I want to hit you up for favor.
I know that you hit on some points about what you would do to say to a tribute artist to become a tribute artist, but what is the main focus that you would tell a tribute artist?
Learn your character. You know, Amelia, the thing that the kids today, the young guys today, the young girls today, the thing that they have the advantage over what I did at the time when I was doing it, I would watch Tom Jones on a Thursday night on TV, and I didn't see him again until the following Thursday. Now they've got YouTube, they've got video, they got everything on these people.
Absolutely.
And just study the character. And really important for the young guys starting out, the young people that want to do this. Get yourself a good headshot. Make sure that you've got all of your music. Get it all copied and done.
Right.
Have a good press kit.
Okay.
And when you do shows, get somebody with that. Spend some money and have it filmed properly. In today's society, everybody wants it like that. Everything's fast. Everything's fast.
Make yourself a good sizzle reel.
A good sizzle reel, and it shouldn't be any more than, seriously, 50 seconds to a minute. I'm telling you, nowadays.
Yeah,
I'm serious, Angelo, because the way people go through Facebook and the way that they go through Instagram and TikTok, people just go until they see something that strikes their fancy. Then they stop. And with that, the average person only spends 30 seconds on.
It's funny what Steve is he's absolutely right. And again, I'm the old guy in the room here, because I remember when a sizzle reel you remember this, Steve, sizzle reels used to be 3 to 5 minutes.
Yes.
Now nobody's got 5 minutes. They got
20 to 30
right.
seconds the most.
Maybe
When I a while ago, when we were booking a lot of different shows. I would go into the agencies or go into the casino entertainment directors, and you sit down and you could see after about a minute or 2 minutes, they've seen enough. They're not going to sit there for 5 minutes and watch your reel. You got to hit them right up front, and you got to be able to put it together. Most important thing for these young entertainers getting started is study and hone your craft.
Absolutely.
Enjoy every minute of it. Forget about the money portion. Everybody's worried, well, I got to get paid. Just perform.
Yeah.
Get out there and hone your craft. Learn it and enjoy every minute of it, because there's nothing more special than to be able to get on stage and make people happy. That's the specialty. That's the gift of what we do. You guys know that. I don't have to tell you that.
You heard it, my friends, from the master himself, and he should know a little thing or two about what he's talking about. He's been doing this for damn near his entire adult life, bro. Literally, I'm not even making any of this. Steve started this when he was 13 years old. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. 13 years old. He's now 55. Okay.
55. Aren't you? Oh my God, Angela, when do you want to go out?
I know, right?
He's close to my age then.
The younger I make you, baby, the younger I make myself.
I'm going to be 67 this year.
I'm 66, baby. You got me by a little bit.
1 year.
Very little. Yeah, 66.
Cal, what acting stuff are you doing?
Well, honestly, so far I've just been like doing background work. I did Righteous Gemstones. I did Vice Principals. I was in a very small scene on Halloween Kills a couple years ago.
It's all it's done.
He's
Exactly.
getting work. He's getting little pieces of work that they're starting to add up a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
And Amelia, how about you? Are you an actress, singer?
No.
What do you do?
Can I say something on your behalf, Amelia?
You better be nice.
No, hold on a minute. Hold on. Amelia has probably the world's largest collection of naked cowboys on TikTok. But,
They can't be naked on TikTok. You know that.
no, seriously, Amelia, she can belt out a tune. She can sing. But I'm looking for somebody to give her a little break.
You got to get out there. That's what I was saying earlier. All these opportunities nowadays, they've got all these talent shows. They got karaoke. Get out there. You never know. You never know who's going to be sitting in that audience watching you. And I'm telling you, you have to. I love what I do. I love performing, and to do it over and over and over again. It doesn't get tiring. It never does. I still get nervous before I walk on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not until I get out there and I hear those people applaud that I calm down a little bit, and then I'm
Steve McCoy is a veteran showman and Tom Jones, the best Tom Jones tribute artist impersonator in the world. He is the star of This Is Tom Jones, the tribute. And this and many more tribute shows at The Real McCoy LLC. Steve, do me a favor. Promote yourself a little bit. Tell everybody about The Real McCoy and what you offer and how people can book a show through Steve McCoy.
all they have to do is go to therealmccoyllc.com. And you'll be able to see the shows that we have, that we offer. And we've been doing this. I've been doing my own company since 2013. And we travel all over the world and do different shows. As I've already promoted all the acts that I push, that I love. I still have some of the veterans like Bobby Wilson, Cookie Watkins doing Tina Turner, Gary Moore doing Little Richard. I mean, all these guys. It's great. I got a guy that his name is Alan Kay, who does Joe Cocker. Now here's another example. He's absolutely brilliant. I was working with him down in Florida at Legends in Concert, and I'm going back about 10 years. We were in Florida at the Hard Rock Casino, and he came in as a Ozzy Osbourne lookalike. And he was a comedian all his life. He gave me a ride back to our condos that we were staying at one night, and he puts on this cassette, and it starts playing, and I go, "Oh my God, Joe Cocker!" I said, "I love him." I said, "Were you at this concert?" Because I could hear it was live. He says, "No, that's me." I said, "What?"
Wow.
And I said, "This is what you should be doing, Al. I mean, Joe Cocker is brilliant." As soon as I came in through the bathroom window, I get by with a little help from my friends. You are so beautiful. And anyway, Alan worked on it. He sent me a video of himself about 6 months later, and I wrote back to him. I called him up, and I said, "Al, I said, you look like a Halloween act." He had a fake beard on, and he had a tie-dye shirt. I said, "Al," and he got mad at me. He says, "Yeah, that's not, I'm trying." And I said, "Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm telling you the honest God truth." I said, "Let your own beard grow, shave your hair. Your hair's white, shave it." And I said, just try it.
Yeah.
He did it, and he is now the leading.
Wow.
Can you pull him up? Alan Kay. A-L, okay. Alan Kay, Kaye.
Wow.
Where do you see him as Joe Cocker? His voice is unbelievable.
Well, oh wow, are you shitting me?
I'm telling you. Take a
For
look.
real?
I can't wait to see this.
Oh man, holy shit!
When you said that, I can't wait now. This is gonna
Wow.
be.
Oh, that's nuts, Steven. This is crazy, folks.
I
This
can't
is
wait.
like, you know what they say? Everybody has a double.
Yeah.
I want
Well,
you to take,
What? Oh my goodness.
brother.
Yeah.
That's Joe Cocker. Okay,
yeah.
that's. Oh, look at that with Mad Dogs and the Americans. Hello.
This guy is absolutely incredible. When I put him in my British Invasion show, that's with David Bowie, Rod Stewart, Mick Jagger, Elton John, Paul
I'm going to talk to
McCartney.
you about that show when we get off the air, too, brother.
Yeah. Real quick, bring up Tony Kishman as Paul McCartney, and then I'll stop.
I know who he is. Oh, because I'm a Beatles guy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where do you see? Where do you guys see this? This guy is phenomenal.
Wow. I cannot wait to see that, especially with this guy right here, Alan Kay. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Alan is incredible. He does a phenomenal job,
Holy
and
shit.
he sounds just like him. Sounds just like him. But when he let himself go natural, that's how good he looked.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And just a one haircut, and that was it.
Yeah,
Take a look at Paul McCartney's double.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Tony Cushman.
Now Tony, Tony's real kind of like claim to fame now is he travels, tours around. He works with symphonies.
Really?
So imagine all that Beatles music with symphony behind him. He's incredible. Look at him. Look at that look.
I'm telling you, he's got the look for
Facial
sure.
expressions, yes.
Let me pull up another one. Here you go, right here.
Amazing.
This is this. I think this one here is what they call the money shot. This is the money shot, Amelia. Let me pull this up for you guys.
Yeah, because sometimes you can get that one look with just that right perfect picture, I think.
Yeah, right.
Because
Let's pull this baby up on the monitor for you. Here we go.
I can't wait to see this one too.
Yeah, this is going. Here we go.
Perfect
Come here.
pictures.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
Holy shit.
that one, especially the
Yeah.
eyebrows and the. Oh my gosh, look at that. That
Well,
is
now look at that.
amazing.
Look at that one.
Yeah,
He looks like Paul.
yeah, he does.
And I got news for you. You would think that Paul would have the kind of like a common look. He doesn't at all. He's got a very distinctive look. But so did all the Beatles. Was the thing. Steve, you and I are
Now here's something, Angelo, very hard to find, and I've looked all over for a guy that does Sammy Davis Jr. And I haven't been able to find anybody that I feel does Sammy justice. There's a young guy.
Oh, go ahead.
There's a young guy down in Florida. His name is Dejan, and he does a great job. There was a guy that worked for Legends talking about somebody that met their demise early. His name was Robert Joseph, and he was scary. He was scary. He was just like him. He was just like him.
Let me. I got a friend of mine on Facebook that does Sammy. I'm going to pull him up for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull his picture up. Let's see. Where are you, my friend? Where are you? Amelia.
Yes.
Fill up some time for me real quick.
Sure, absolutely. You said that you do some touring, but do you know if you're going to be coming back to Florida soon? Because I know that here a lot of people love Tom Jones.
I don't have the firm date on it yet, but we're supposed to be doing a show in July. I don't have the exact date yet, but we are going to be in Florida, and I'll let Angelo know. Okay.
I live in
Yeah.
Wesley Chapel area, close to Tampa. So I don't.
Yeah, that's where we'll be.
Oh, in Tampa,
It'll
really?
be it's right around there. So
Oh,
I
fantastic.
will. I was trying the Scottish Rite Theater, Angelo,
Yes,
back
I
in
know.
Collingswood,
I know
and
it
I was
well.
trying to get in there, and boy, oh boy, if that place isn't screwed up.
Oh, bro, you don't know half of it. I'm going to talk to you about a couple things when we get off the air.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know that. Oh my goodness, look at that.
This is
Yeah. Who is that?
Alfredo Miller. This is
I've
Alfredo
heard of
Miller.
him. I've heard of him.
He does a spot on Sammy.
Great,
Wow.
great. I've not
Now-
seen him. I'm going to take a look at him.
Take a look at him. When you get a chance to talk to him, tell him that his friend on Facebook, friend Mad Dog DeCipio from WTBR, hooked you up. Because I'm going to talk to you about something when we get off the air. Just you and me. I'm going to dismiss everybody else.
Hey, Angelo, I just want to thank all of you guys for your time. It's always
brother,
the
thank
time
you.
flies so fast,
Yeah, it does.
but I want to thank you.
Bro, let me tell you something. This is why we're here. You know, one of the things people, and by the way, and thank you to our subscribers, our listeners. We are in 32 countries. We are translated into 26 languages. We have nearly 16.5 million
Yeah.
subscribers. Real numbers. Amelia keeps track of that.
Mhm.
And I'm very grateful for what we do. One of the things that we do here is we don't take any money and we don't give any money. There's a reason for that. The minute I get paid to do what I do, I am at the behest of a sponsor, and nobody's going to tell the Mad Dog what the fuck to do.
Right.
Period. End of story, including saying fuck if I feel like it, because I own this shit. There you go.
We're
Anyway,
from the same area, Angelo.
brother, you and I are cut from the same cloth. We are. Me and Steve are cut. By the way, while Steve and his friends were playing Elvis Presley,
Mhm.
across the street, directly across from Steve's mother's house,
Mhm.
was my cousin Christopher Borghese, and we used to play professional wrestling over there.
Yeah.
And throw each other through tables and lawn chairs, and
We were sick. We were all nuts back then.
we were all
And
we're all
then-
fucking stoned in the head for real.
And then you got into the wrestling profession.
Yeah, and I ended up becoming a promoter for a while. Anyway, but I want to thank Steve McCoy. Steve, I want to ask you to hang around with me for a minute. For Amelia. I forgot to do this. Amelia, what do we got coming up?
We have actress Andrea Leonelli tomorrow.
Andrea has a new film coming out. It's called Healing Towers. It premieres on Amazon Prime next week. She'll be here to talk up the film, tell us a little bit. She's got an interesting story. This woman is lucky to be alive. She's grateful to be alive because she almost didn't make it.
Oh, wow.
We're going to talk to her tomorrow about the fascinating story. And she ended up becoming one of America's top supermodels. Yep. She worked with all the big ones, Janice Dickinson and all those legs up to their neck kind of people. Yep. All them all supermodels. She'll be here tomorrow night. That's Andrea Leonelli. And Healing Towers is the film. Amelia, what else we got coming up?
Oh, well, actually, next week we have just open forum. Next week.
Open forum, we love open forum because you never know what the hell we're going to say. Anything goes on open forum, and we
Right.
love that. Especially Cal likes it because he gets the curse once in a while. And we don't do a lot of that. Now I'll say it. For Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. For Al. I was going to say Al. For Big Cal, Calumniator. And for Steve McCoy and the Real McCoy LLC. I am the Mad Dog. This is America's Popcast. What's the buzz? God bless you, folks. Till we see you again, take care of each other. Be kind. Bye-bye.